We got Stevie, how long have you been in CrossFit?
Just over here.
We got a Louie. Just over here. I like it. Look at Dale. Heidi. Heidi, how long have you been doing CrossFit? I've been here for just over a year. I like it. We've got a 5-year veteran. We've got a couple people under that 1-year mark. All right, guys, are you ready? So, again, the goal for this challenge is to bike 2,040 meters in under 4 minutes. So we're going to cap you at 4 minutes no matter what, but we're going to try to snag your time to see exactly how long it takes you. All right? Yeah, no pressure. It's all for fun. And some sick swag from Assault Fitness. All right, guys, you ready to see these guys go down? Whoa, okay, let's try that again. Are you guys ready to see these guys go down? There we go. I like that
Happy Halloween, everybody, and welcome to Diablo CrossFit in beautiful Northern California as we get set for the live open announcement of 20.4. I'm Sean Woodland with Tommy Marquez. Tommy, appropriate on Halloween, we're at Diablo, as you know, Spanish for scary chicken with large talons.
I don't know, Sean. Maybe it's just my last name, Marquez, but I think it means Diablo.
Well, we'll agree to disagree on that one. How's the Open going for you, man? It's week 4.
You know, one of the great things about the Open is that we get to compete. Everybody does, and it can be whether it's just with your gym or with your best friends or people that you know. I've got a friendly competition going on with Justin LaFranco, the Morning Chalk Up.
Going for the sweep.
I'm going up 3-0 right now, so, you know, things are going great.
So this is week 4. Things sort of jumped up a notch last week as far as the skill level is concerned, but so far we've had a really good test through these first 3 weeks.
Yeah, like you said, the first 2 weeks are usually a little bit more accessible, but overall one of the themes for the Open this year has been new horizons. You know, we've seen some new stuff thrown out, some curveballs. In week 1 we got what in my opinion is arguably the hardest week 1 workout we've ever done in terms of pain. And then we got to see thrusters show up for the first time outside of the final week of the Open. Not only that, but dumbbell thrusters made their way into the Open for the very first time. And then last week we saw a repeat show up, not in the original week that it was programmed, for the first time since 2014. So a lot of new shakeups and curveballs, and I really hope we get to see another one tonight.
A lot of speculation as to what's going to go down tonight. There are really 2 ways that you can try and figure that out. The first, look at what we haven't done. That makes too much sense. The one everyone likes to do, though, is go to Dave Castor's Instagram and look at the clues. I don't think they mean anything, but I'll give you credit. You have a theory that makes a little sense on this one.
First off, throw logic out the window, right? We're going to put on our tinfoil hats and start reading into Instagram posts way too much. But Dave Castro posts kind of this old folk tale about a husband and wife hunting owls. They got a little greedy, kept calling more and more owls until they ran out of arrows, and progressively they got overwhelmed and, you know, got killed by the owls. So that tells me we're going to see something that's going to progress either in loading or rep scheme in some sort of fashion until probably we hit some sort of barrier that's too much for most people.
All right, well, we'll see if that happens. We're going to have that announcement in just a second. But first, we have a really good field here tonight. 3 athletes who obviously all very talented, but all sort of different as well.
Yeah, you know, these matchups can be intriguing for a couple of different reasons. You know, if we have 2 very similar athletes, and no matter what you throw at them, it's going to be a good race. But these 3 athletes are very different in their respective skills and talents and what makes them elite. I think each athlete has a particular skill set that could allow them to win the workout depending on what ends up coming out. So it really kind of ramps up the excitement for everybody to find out what that workout is going to be.
All right, well, let's find out what that workout is going to be. I think we're ready to go. You got enough of us talking. You guys get enough of that during the week. Let's send it over now to Logan Vanderpool. We'll meet the 3 athletes who will be throwing down here at Diablo CrossFit for 20.4.
All right, guys, our first athlete taking to the Diablo competition floor is making his first CrossFit Games Open announcement appearance and looking to make his way back to the CrossFit Games for the 3rd time. From Lumberyard CrossFit, please welcome Jason Carroll. Next up, we have an athlete hoping to capitalize on his current 12th place on the leaderboard to make his way back to the CrossFit Games for the 4th time. Please make some noise for the CrossFit Cowboy himself, Shaun Sweeney. And last but certainly not least, we are graced with true CrossFit Games royalty. He is the only athlete in history to have competed at the CrossFit Games 11 years in a row, where he stood on the podium 4 times. I give to you the 2015 Fittest Man on Earth, Ben Smith.
All right, guys. First, I wanted to thank you guys for coming out to Diablo Throwdown for 20.4. We're going to kick it off with a chipper, beginning with 30 box jumps, followed with 15 clean and jerks, 95 pounds. 30 box jumps, 15 clean and jerks at 135. 30 box jumps, 10 clean and jerks at 185. Starting it out with a new movement, single leg squat for 30 reps. 10 clean and jerks at 225. 30 single leg squats. 5 clean and jerks at 275. 30 single leg squats. 5 clean and jerks at 315. You guys have 20 minutes for a time cap. Now, for a quick recap, chipper, we're going to start off 30 box jumps for the first 3 rounds. Then it goes to pistols for the next 3. It's a descending rep scheme on the barbell, decreasing the reps every 2 rounds. On to Shawn and Tommy for the thoughts.
Oh my goodness, Tommy Marquez. What in the world?
Oh, man.
I mean, there it is on your screen. I mean, you kind of called it. We're going to have sort of an ascending load, descending reps, but since it's Halloween, this is like someone knocks at your door, you're thinking to get some cute trick-or-treaters, and it's a flaming bag of you-know-what left there by Dave Castro. This is not going to be fun.
Or you walk up, knock on the door, and they give you like a pencil or an eraser or something that's not sugary and delicious. But, I mean, you look at a couple of things immediately jump out off the page. We get to see a new movement show up for the first time, single-legged squats, known to many in the community as pistols. For the first time showing up, it's showing up in a pretty wicked way towards the back half of the workout. And then we get to see the skill and the loading both go up, something that we usually see towards the later half of the open when we start to separate the wheat from the chaff, if you will. And not just any loading, we're going to see clean and jerks up to 315 pounds. So you're going to put 3 big wheels on either side if you're going to get to the end of this workout.
And the common theme here is, and we saw this last week, there is a portion of this workout where we all can play, and then it's time for the elite to take over, and that's once you get to those single leg squats, and that weight really starts to go up.
Oh, yeah, and that's when we get to right about the 225 barbell, right? Most people are pretty comfortable, at least on the upper echelons, at a 225 barbell for a clean and jerk, but I think it's going to feel a lot different once you have those 90 box jumps and some single-legged squats under your belt.
All right, let's talk about your 3 keys to this workout.
Yeah, a couple of keys. We're going to keep it simple here. The first one is find your rhythm. Now, you have to look at the totality of this workout here. You've got 90 box jumps, 90 single-legged squats, and 60 clean and jerks in total. That's a lot of reps of each. So finding a rhythm as far as cadence, as far as pacing, that you can hold not just in the beginning, but towards the middle parts of that workout as the workout drags on is going to be key. The next one, because you have to read the rules, be very careful here. Adjust your technique. Look at the rule book. For the box jumps, you can actually step up the box jumps. You don't have to jump. So that's another technique you can employ depending on if it benefits you. Also for the clean and jerks, you don't have to necessarily squat it. You can power clean. You can power clean and catch right up into the jerk. 2 very different techniques that could save you time as things go on. And don't be afraid to fluctuate between these techniques depending on what best suits you, especially as it gets heavier. And most people are probably going to squat, at least the clean anyways, for most of us mortal people. And last but certainly not least, for these elite athletes in particular, I call it power and push, right? So it's a technique for the clean and jerk that I think is going to benefit some of the best in this workout. You see athletes will be able to power clean it in the catch, immediately drive it overhead for the push
really
jerk.
good at that.
Ben Smith does this. We saw him do it at the Max Clean and Jerk back in 2013. It's a movement that's pretty common for the lighter weights, but the best athletes will be able to maintain that technique much longer and get an advantage.
We mentioned at the top of the show how we have 3 very talented athletes, 3 very different athletes, so I think there's something in here for everybody. Let's go through each one. We'll start with Jason Carroll. What is he like, and what does he not like about this?
I think Jason Carroll really likes the pistols. It's unfortunate that they come so late in the workout for him. And mixed up with the box jumps, I think Jason is a little bit better comparatively in some of the lighter body weight gymnastics type movements. He shouldn't have a problem as far as mobility is concerned, which is usually an issue for the pistols. But I think he'll like those movements in particular. Unfortunately, those pistols come with something he's not going to like, and that's the heavy barbell. Compared to Shawn and compared to Ben, he just doesn't have the upper echelon strength relative to those guys that he does. across the board. And that's the same with snatch, with clean and jerk. I was talking with him before. That was something he was nervous about possibly showing up tonight. As far as Shaun Sweeney goes.
Yeah, because he's having a great open, 12th place overall right now.
His best open ever by far. There's a few things that I think he likes in this workout in particular. I think that he likes the duration. One of the things that Shaun is really good at that's kind of hard to quantify is his ability to just suffer. You get some of these long, grueling chippers, these workouts that just kind of mind-numbingly, tons of reps. I think that's when Shaun really excels, puts his head down, and just really grinds. Unfortunately, the heavy barbell and a lot of below parallel is present in this workout, and I don't think he's going to like that. I spoke with him earlier. This is the first season in a few seasons that he's been healthy. He's been dealing with some lower leg issues, particularly a hip issue that prevented him from squatting, not just for volume, but for weight as well. He said the heaviest barbell he squatted came as a result of a clean, so it's not necessarily something he's looking forward to.
And what about, let's go to Ben Smith. We talked about him just a little bit with that technique that he can use on the power and into the push. Loves a heavy barbell, but speaking of injuries, coming off that knee injury that slowed him down last year.
Yeah, if this is vintage Ben Smith we're going to see tonight, he's going to love. He's going to eat this workout up. He loves chippers, and particularly historically, he does really well in week 4 of the Open. It's typically his best finish in the Open overall worldwide. And you look at the pistols, he typically likes heavy barbell. He's the strongest athlete out here on the floor. He's going to like that. But the only caveat with those pistols is he's coming off a knee surgery. Depending on how efficient and how mobile you are, these pistols, these one-legged squats, put a ton of pressure on the knee. So he has to move very carefully and very efficiently. He could lose time, but we get a good test to see how healthy that knee is right now.
These will be 3 of the first men in the world to take on this workout. Some names that came to mind once I heard the announcement as far as people who have a good chance of smashing this thing. I mean, look no further than the champs. Matt Fraser and Tia Toomey, I think, can really do well here.
Yeah, above anything else, they've displayed their fitness and capacity across every single domain that we've thrown out for them. For the men, I love Matt Fraser because of his pistol efficiency. Watching him do pistols is a thing of beauty. Obviously, he has the fitness to get through the box jumps. He's going to make relatively easy work of that 315 barbell. So I think this is a workout, as the skill and strength goes up, this is something he's going to excel at. Tia Toomey's going to do great as well. I think on the women's side, Jamie Green is going to be something that's going to do really, really well with the blend of capacity, strength with the barbell, pistol movement, and I think Jacob Hepner too. He's one of the best in the world at pistols, and he likes these longer workouts.
That's who we think will do well. We're into week 4 now. To get to get yourself above that cut line is starting to run out. Start with the men. Who needs to do well this week?
Well, one of the guys on this floor needs to do well right now, Ben Smith. He's about 6 spots out from the qualifying line in the Open worldwide, and this is a great opportunity for him to make up some ground. Last year, he had to get an invite because of the injury, and he wasn't healthy during the Open. Right now, he's on the cusp, so we have an opportunity to really showcase how healthy he is and put down a performance in front of everybody that can help move him up. On top of that, Spencer Panchik, right now the highest ranked Panchik brother, one of the only ones that's really in contention for a game spot in the Open because Scott went team. He's an athlete I'm really looking to hopefully make up some ground. He's about a dozen spots out. And then on the women's side, Amanda Barnhart.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, a top 10 games athlete last year. Yeah, had one of arguably a breakout season despite being injured with her ankle. We want to see how healthy the ankle is with the range of motion on the pistols. She's going to smash the barbell. She's second in the clean with Tia Toomey. She's an athlete that can power this barbell all the way through, power clean and just right to the overhead. So this is a good workout for her to start climbing back after a rough week 1.
Those are the elite. Now let's talk about the everyday athletes who are going to be taking this thing on because it's going to look much different than what we're going to see tonight. What are some tips that you can give to people out there who just want to get the best score that they possibly can?
Well, some of the things that I mentioned earlier definitely carry over here. So for one, the box jumps.
Yes.
Don't be afraid to step up.
Step them.
One of the things about this workout is there are a ton of interference. You take a look at when you're at the barbells that you think you're going to power clean, well, you're jumping, an explosive opening of the hip. When you think you're going to have to squat it, well, you're also squatting for the pistol too. So do those things like using step-ups, smart breaks and cadences to kind of mitigate the damage and interference so you feel better towards the back end of that workout if you plan on being in the workout at 20 minutes.
Yeah, and you mentioned the step-ups. Something you want to keep in mind about that, you cannot turn your box and use the corner if you're going to do that. You have to step up on the long end. And we'll talk more about standards as we get into the workout. But you're going to do this one. What are you looking forward to here?
Oh man, I mean box jumps and like the power clean and jerk overhead. I love that. The first 3 rounds of this essentially with the loading on the barbell and the box jumps, I love. It's like I'm a hip driven athlete.
Yep.
I'm springy. That's just the things I've excelled at as a basketball player. I don't like the pistols. I would feel comfortable clean and jerking 275, but not after a ton of pistols like that. These long limbs don't fold up so well when it comes to the single-legged squats.
All right, I think we're ready to rock here. So enough of us. Let's get to the main event. Let's send it now to Logan Vanderpool to kick off 20.4 at Diablo CrossFit.
20.4 kicks off in 3, 2, 1, go.
We'll go through this, 30 box jumps, and then 15 clean and jerks at 95 pounds. There are 240 total repetitions in this workout, and we will keep you updated on where each athlete is in the workout.
And right away, you notice the technique that Ben Smith is utilizing compared to the other two. He's doing the rebound technique where obviously he hits the ground, rebounds right back up, but he's taking an extra gather step to kind of move his feet towards the back half of the box. That allows him to land a little bit more reliably on the rebound to make sure he's not off balance. Shaun Sweeney is jumping right down, and we've seen him a couple times already struggle to balance with that box jump once he lands on top of it.
So Ben Smith first to the 30 clean and jerks at 95 pounds as we are approaching the 1 minute mark. And now Shaun Sweeney on to his reps, and Jason Carroll in third place. A lot of work still to remain here as Ben Smith takes a quick break.
And look at Jason Carroll's technique. He's almost kind of strict pressing a little bit, utilizing very little hip drive for the shoulder to overhead. You know, that could present a problem if he's pretty fatigued towards the back half, but this is primarily a leg workout. So he could be saving the drive, the hip drive, and the leg power for some of those later rounds when he gets to the heavier barbell.
And the clock on your screen is unofficial. We're past the 90-second mark, and now Ben Smith is done with his 15 clean and jerks at 95 pounds. Back to the box, 30 box jumps, and now the weight will increase to 135. And for those of you who are going to do this workout, you can have someone load your barbell. However, once you start doing the movements, they cannot move your barbell. So if you're doing clean and jerks and you drop it and it bounces away, you have to go get it. You can't rely on someone else to do that.
And towards the back of your screen, Shaun Sweeney has already received a couple of no reps for that same reason I mentioned as before. He's jumping right back down into his rebound, and he's unable to balance at the top. Remember, on top of landing, you have to show control at the top of the box while your hips are open. You can't be leaning back, falling back, and it's already cost him a few reps already.
The Ben Smith was first to the box. Shaun Sweeney was second in round 2, and Jason Carroll is in third. Now, we failed to mention this at the top. There's some money riding on this.
There is. The winner of this workout will receive $2,000, courtesy of Toyota of Walnut Creek. Second place finisher will walk away with $1,000.
Yep.
So a nice little bit of pocket change.
And third place has to clean up all the weights. Ben Smith, first man to 135 pounds. 15 reps here. And then the weight will once again increase, but the reps will decrease. Approaching the 3-minute mark, 20-minute time cap. Now Shaun Sweeney, he's on to his set of 15 clean and jerks at 135. And Sweeney breaking them up from the beginning, choosing to go singles here. Ben Smith down to singles as well.
Interesting enough, Ben knocked out a quick chunk while he felt fresh on the barbell, knowing that he's going to create a little bit of a lead ahead of these guys, and then goes back to singles to kind of match up the pace with everyone else.
Ben Smith is through 10 of his 15 reps. And now 3 left to go for Ben Smith as he is your early leader here. 240 total repetitions, 20-minute time cap. And we are 3.5 minutes and change in, now approaching 3 minutes, 40 seconds in. Ben Smith on his final clean and jerk at 135. Back to the box, this will be his final set of box jumps, 30 repetitions, and then 10 clean and jerks at 185. Meanwhile, Shaun Sweeney has 2 reps to go, and Jason Carroll is 1 rep back of him, so that's the battle for second place. And Jason Carroll, also a member of that Trash Talk Thursday crew, And in 3 years, he has yet to be punished.
He's managed to kind of skirt the embarrassment of all the punishments that those guys are throwing left and right. Although, admittedly, out of the group, this might be a workout that could trip him up because of the heavy barbell at the end.
Ben Smith continues to lead. This is his third and final set of box jumps. Once he's done with these 30, he will have completed 120, so halfway for those 240 reps.
I think Jason's really trying to save his legs here. You notice he has stepped down every single box jump through the first few rounds and continues to do so here. You can tell he's kind of worried about those heavier barbells as he gets later on. Interesting enough, he's effectively kind of doing the negative part of a lunge when he comes down for that, so I wonder if he's really conserving there.
Ben Smith now on the barbell. He's halfway through the workout as far as reps concerned. Now we're just 5 minutes 4 seconds in, so Ben Smith, your clear leader here. 10 clean and jerk now at 185 pounds. Shaun Sweeney done with his final set of box jumps.
And pay attention to when these guys come off the box. For the box jumps and the pistols, those are the marks for the tiebreaker here, because we actually do have a tiebreaker this round. So it's not just coming off and finishing what you think is the round on the barbell. Coming off the box or later rounds, the pistols is what actually gives you the time break.
4 reps to go for Ben Smith at 185. Shaun Sweeney, he is on the right of your screen. He is in second, and Jason Carroll sits in third. And again, $2,000 to the winner here, $1,000 to second place. Five to go for Sweeney at 185. After this, the pistols start. 30 one-legged squats after this set of clean and jerks.
I mean, all of this loading for the barbell, for the box jumps, all of this is relatively minor as far as these elite athletes go. These first few rounds are essentially a warm-up for these guys. Get their heart rate up a little bit, get their blood pumping a little bit, and then start to ramp up the skill and strength, forcing them to do the pistols and the heavier barbell once you're already a little bit tired.
Ben Smith, the first man on to the single-legged squats. He will now complete 30 of these. You have to alternate legs. And then it's on to the 225-pound barbell, 10 reps at 225. Shaun Sweeney now onto the pistols.
We mentioned Ben's knee injury that he's recovering for. That's actually his second knee surgery he's had one each on both knees so far. You can see how very methodical he is in his pacing. Shaun Sweeney actually going a little bit faster than him, maybe a little bit more reckless on the pace just because he has to make up ground. But Ben being very smooth, almost every rep looks identical. I guarantee you his judge is pretty happy about that.
Jason Carroll on the left of your screen is now onto his pistols, and he's moving at a much more quickly than Ben Smith and Shaun Sweeney. And as you said, leading into this is what he's going to like, and this is where Jason Carroll's starting to make his move.
And he kind of has to, right? If he's not necessarily going to either finish this or compete with these other athletes, he's got to push each round of pistols to make sure he has the best tiebreaker possible, because that could be worth precious spots on the leaderboard for an athlete that's not just competing for a spot at the games, but for spots at sanctionals as well that are using the open.
Ben Smith now through 162 of the 240 total reps as he is on to his 10 clean and jerks at 225 pounds. Shaun Sweeney on the right of your screen now onto his clean and jerks at 225. And now Jason Carroll has made up some ground, and he will move to the 225-pound barbell.
Jason Carroll really taking his time to this barbell, still relatively early on the 225.
Jason Carroll with his first rep down. Meanwhile, Ben Smith just 4 to go as he continues to lead Shaun Sweeney, who is able to cut into Smith's lead a little bit on that first set of 31-legged squats. 8.5 minutes gone by here. 20-minute time cap should not be a problem for any of these athletes.
And Sweeney has made up some considerable ground. He's only 3 reps behind to make that 2 reps now behind Ben Smith going into these later barbells. You have to assume he's going to make up even more ground with the pacing on the pistols, given what we saw in the first set of 30.
Final rep of 225 for Ben Smith. That will count, and now 30 more one-legged squats, and the weight will increase to 275 pounds. Ben Smith threw 200 of the 240 total repetitions, so creeping closer to the finish of this workout is Shaun Sweeney. is on to his final 2 reps at 225, and Jason Carroll on the left of your screen is starting to creep up here. He has 5 reps to go. If he can get back on the barbell, he can maybe reel in Sweeney.
I think Sweeney maybe pushed the pace a little bit in the first half of those 225s and the pistols, because he's really starting to take longer breaks. Actually allowed Ben to kind of regain a little bit of his lead. So much so Ben took a break during the pistol and is already done through half of them by the time Sweeney has gotten. He was just a couple reps behind him through most of those cleans.
And Sweeney now is onto his one-legged squats. And Ben Smith continues to lead. Jason Carroll with 3 reps to go at 225. Approaching the 10-minute mark, the halfway point here in 20.4. First time we have ever seen one-legged squats in the open. When Smith is done with these one-legged squats, he moves on to that 275-pound barbell. 5 reps here.
Man, that 275 looked real easy for Ben Smith.
And now Jason Carroll has finally finished the 225, and he'll move on to his second set of 30.
The one benefit of Ben Smith having such perfect technique on the pistols, able to keep his heel down, utilize his hamstrings, his glutes, posterior chain a little bit more. It takes a little bit of pressure off the quads, that front half of the leg that's used to be a little bit more springy that you see in this power cleans and that jerk overhead. You notice as he does these clean and jerk reps, he's a little bit more forward on his foot. It's a different set of muscles that you're using there, and he's managed to save a little energy there by having better technique on the pistols.
Ben Smith with 2 to go at 275. Jason Carroll, meanwhile, is on his second set. He's on the left side of your screen of 31-legged squats. And now Shaun Sweeney is getting set to approach the 275-pound barbell as he's putting on a lifting belt. Ben Smith wearing one as well. And now 1 rep to go for Smith at 275. First rep good for Sweeney. Final rep now for Ben Smith at 275. And Smith is done. 35 reps remain for Ben Smith, approaching the 12-minute mark, 20-minute time cap. Final set of 31-legged squats, and then 5 clean and jerks at 315 pounds for the 2015 Fittest Man on Earth.
And now we're starting to see the cumulative effect of these clean and jerks and all this leg work. Shaun Sweeney just had to switch finally to actually stand up the clean all the way, take a little bit of time to gather for the jerk, and then drive. Even though he pushed jerk it overhead, his feet kicked out a little bit, technique started to break down a little bit.
And Sweeney will hit that as he is now 2 reps away from finishing his set at 275 pounds. Jason Carroll, meanwhile, is on to the 275-pound barbell. He is now on the left of your screen. And it's Ben Smith in the middle who's the leader. Final set of 31-legged squats. And that rep is good for Jason Carroll. 2 to go, meanwhile, for Shaun Sweeney.
And you can see right there by Jason switching to the split that maybe the jerk isn't what he's as confident as some of these other athletes sticking with a push jerk or a power jerk. And Jason having to switch to the split, taking a little bit more time. This is really where the kind of crux of the workout is for him. And can he get through these 275 in a timely manner to give himself a shot at 315?
13 minutes gone by, 13:04 to be exact. And Ben Smith is just about done, and he is finished with his final set of one-legged squats. 5 reps remain for Ben Smith at 315 pounds. And now Shaun Sweeney is done at 275. He will move on to his final set of one-legged squats.
We'll see how this first rep at 315 looks for Ben. I think it's kind of a little poetic justice that we first saw kind of this technique applied where you catch and immediately drive over to the overhead position. With Ben back in 2013, we had seen it with the lighter weights, but Ben did it with 3 wheels on the bar at the games, and no one had really seen that before. So
and the first rep is down for Ben Smith. 4 to go.
he stood that up really easy, but clearly you can tell he wanted to make sure that he wasn't going to get a costly no rep here. The last thing you want to do at the end of a workout is have to repeat a clean and jerk at 315.
Plenty of time for Ben Smith. We're past the 14-minute mark, 14:08 and counting. Jason Carroll still working on 275. He just left view on the left. Smith working on his second rep. And that will count for Ben Smith. 3 to go for Ben Smith.
And that's one of the things that makes him so good for so long. It's really kind of the championship caliber athlete that he is. The ability to switch between those techniques seamlessly, right? He spent 90% of that workout power cleaning right into a push jerk overhead. And then suddenly when you have 315 on the bar, he switches to a full clean and a split jerk. And it looks like he's been doing that technique the entire time.
Jason Carroll on his final rep at 275, and Carroll will hit that, so Jason Carroll will move on to his final set of 31-legged squats, and he does have time to make a few runs at 315. Now, Ben Smith is looking like he may not give this another try. He looked over at somebody and just sort of shook his head, but he has 3 to go here.
Yeah, something looked a little off there. He looked to the side and shook his head no.
But Smith is going to make another run. He has 3 to go. Sweeney hits his first. Smith now with his third down at 315. 2 to go. Jason Carroll still working on his final set of one-legged squats.
If I'm Jason, I'm rifling through these to get a better tiebreaker time here, because we saw him struggle with the 275. Doesn't look like he's going to have enough time to finish this workout. So give yourself the best shot on the leaderboard that you can and get through that tiebreak.
Here's attempt number 4 for Smith. 1 to go for Ben Smith. Past the 16-minute mark, 20-minute time cap. So Ben Smith looking like he's going to finish 20.4 and maybe cash a check for $2,000.
That'll pay for his plane flight back home to Chesapeake, Virginia. Super impressive. Ben making the trip across the country to be here. Shows up and is putting in some fantastic work.
Shaun Sweeney's second attempt at 305. The final barbell here. Sweeney will hit that. Now here goes Ben Smith setting up for his final rep at 315. And that'll count. Ben Smith takes 20.4. Give that man $2,000, Tommy.
That's a nice little payday for about 16 minutes worth of work, you know? I'd take that.
Well, Ben Smith with an impressive performance here. And he will finish unofficially around 16:40. We'll wait till we get the official time from the judges. And it's Jason Carroll and Shaun Sweeney left to battle it out for second. $1,000 to the second place finisher here. And Sweeney has about a 2-rep lead on Jason Carroll. And now, if he hits this, it'll be a 3-rep lead. And Sweeney cannot hit the jerk.
I think that right there was the crux of his workout. If he hits that jerk, he's got 2 left. He could go on the minute at 18 and 19 minutes, maybe give himself a shot at finishing. That's a lot of effort that doesn't necessarily go down in the scorecard.
Here's Jason Carroll at 315. Carroll will stand it up. Cannot hit the jerk.
That was still a fantastic save from Carroll on the clean. He started to rock forward, was able to regain his balance, pull himself back onto his heels and stand that up.
But how impressive was Ben Smith?
Amazing. And we talked about, one of the things I mentioned earlier was rhythm and cadence and adjusting technique. Ben Smith's technique looked flawless the entire time. Pistol technique on point, clean and jerk technique on point, was able to switch between techniques at will when things got heavy and more difficult. And, you know, it's what hasn't this guy done in the sport? And he just showcases why he's, like Logan Vanderpool said earlier tonight, he's CrossFit royalty.
Less than 90 seconds to go. Speaking of impressive, how about the tensile strength on that bodysuit that Marcin Sawyers is wearing? That thing is being pushed to its limits.
I really hope that's some carbon fiber thread that they use for that, because he's about to bust out.
And Sweeney will hit that. So 2 to go for Shaun Sweeney. We're almost at 19 minutes gone by.
So
We
Sweeney
hit that mark now. 1 minute to go.
So Sweeney actually switched out his shoes. He put on his Olympic lifting shoes. He had his regular nanos on before.
And Carroll for the jerk. Almost had it. Closer than the last time.
I think Sweeney's gearing up for one last lift.
40 seconds for Shaun Sweeney. He's keeping an eye on the clock.
Gave the crowd a little treat there.
Shaun Sweeney came out. He handed out the obligatory photos of himself to the crowd, also some bracelets as well. And now the hat's on. This thing better go up, Tommy.
Go Cowboy!
It's the power of the hat. It will count. With 10 seconds to spare, Shaun Sweeney gets 4 of his 5 lifts at 3:15. 3, 2, and 1. And at that, 20.4 is in the books. And it's going to be Ben Smith who takes it. We'll wait for the official time as the athletes are now going to recover a little bit. But you had, I know, an idea about how this was going to look going in. Now that you've seen it, how, if at all, did that change?
Well, I kind of guess that maybe the athletes might finish, or at least some of them might finish in the 12 to 14 minute range. They're a little bit slower than that. It looked like the cumulative effect of the pistols and just the high heart rate from earlier, the 90 box jumps, really took a toll on their lifting and their pacing towards the end. Man, I think this is way harder than a lot of people are anticipating. I think these pistols are going to, and the 225 barbell are going to wreck a lot of people.
We mentioned Ben Smith just a second ago about how impressive he was, but you got to think for him mentally, come out here and have a performance like that, given what he went through last season, he's got to be feeling really good about himself right now.
No doubt. I mean, you talk about a Hall of Fame career that was nearly derailed for a second in terms of the streak that he had going on qualifying for the CrossFit Games by an injury that was really unfortunate. It wasn't necessarily something that came down to his fitness or his capacity, but a minor injury with poor timing. He got to keep the streak alive, and now he gets to come back and do 2 movements that, if you're coming off a knee surgery, that is a huge vote of confidence in going below parallel for heavy clean and jerks and 90 pistols in a workout, and doing so and out-dueling 2 very talented CrossFit Games athletes.
Yeah, and speaking of those 2, I mean, obviously they didn't win here, but strong performances for them. I think they have to be really happy, given their strengths, about how they performed here tonight.
And let's be honest, this situation here, lining up in front of a huge crowd just moments before, not knowing the workout, and then basically having to strap on and go toe-to-toe with other very talented athletes as well, is not the most ideal time to do an open workout for a lot of athletes. Most times you're used to doing it at your home gym, with your normal routine, with your food, your sleep, everything dialed in. And you got to do a little bit of a curveball here. And I think they still put together a strong performance, and I think it's something that they're going to take home, they're going to learn from. I think they'll be able to come back maybe Sunday or Monday and put together a much stronger performance as a result.
Other than the outfit that Marcin Sawyers of the Buttery Bros is wearing tonight, what was the most impressive thing that you saw?
I'm more impressed that they could get into that outfit.
Yeah, that is not a male outfit either. That is made for the ladies, and Marcin taking one for the team and squeezing into that thing.
I think the 2 things stand out. One, the technique of Ben Smith. It really looked like vintage Ben Smith as far as maintaining that high quality of movement that he's known for and built a kind of a career on as the past. The other, I love the camaraderie and the presence between the athletes during the workout. We saw Jason Carroll turn and cheer on Ben Smith for that last rep. It's kind of a sign of respect, in my opinion, and admiration for an athlete that's basically done everything. And then Shaun Sweeney throwing on the hat, finish that last rep
that was awesome.
as the workout finishes. I don't know how he does it in a cowboy hat. I never could, Shaun.
All right, that's enough of us. Let's hear from the athletes. They've caught their breath. Back to Logan Vanderpool for the official scores and times and check presentation to the 3 athletes. Logan?
Guys, congratulations. Great job.
Thank you.
Super fun to watch. So out of the 3 of you, finishing in 3rd tonight, Jason Carroll, great job, sir. Finishing with 235 reps and a tie-break time of 16 minutes. Beat that. Finishing in 2nd place tonight, Mr. Shaun Sweeney. Finished with 239 reps and a tie-break time of 14 minutes and 41 seconds. We would like to award you with $1,000 from Toyota Walnut Creek.
This is more than I made all year.
And finishing in first place tonight for 20.4, Mr. Ben Smith. An official time of 16 minutes and 42 seconds. We would like to award you with $2,000 from Toyota Walnut Creek. Ben, congrats. How was that?
That was really heavy. That got heavy at the end. Yeah, that was way heavier than I thought it was going to be. The pistols really took it out of your legs, so that was brutal. You guys did good. Thank you guys. Thank you all. Thank you for the cheering squad. I appreciate it. Yeah.
So we all want to know, what were your first thoughts going through your head when you heard this workout announced?
I was pretty happy with the heavy bar, so I liked it. I liked it. Can't complain.
So Ben was happy. Shawn, what were your first thoughts?
My first thoughts was CrossFit. A little bit of CrossFit, came out, get a good workout in, do it again in front of the whole world and some awesome people here. So, I mean, what's not to love? I think this is awesome. I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
So I believe you were 1 rep away from finishing. The big question, will you repeat?
Yes. So I have a policy of don't repeat unless you think you can do better. And you know what? In this one, I gave it everything I had. I tried really hard. I missed that rep and that cost. So I think in this workout, it all comes down to that last barbell for those of us that are going to be trying to finish the workout. So I think if I can go back and try to suck a little bit less, I might be able to make it. You know what I mean? So we'll try it.
I think you can do it.
I think so.
And Jason, this was your first CrossFit Games open announcement. How was this for you?
Oh man, it was a beautiful experience. It was good. It was good. I'm a head game athlete, so just being around this community kind of helped out leading up to, especially doing an announcement on Thursday. I've never done an open workout in my history of CrossFit on a Thursday night, so just yeah.
Well, we were stoked to have you. What was it like being able to compete and chase these guys here on this open announcement floor at Diablo?
Well, I got doofus over here. Like next time, come with the right shoes. Maybe you finish the workout.
I switched mid-workout. You got to have the right team.
And then just one of the most respected athletes in the game right here. Again, I always say there's some people that might forget that he actually won the CrossFit Games, and I get to stand next to him, and it's nuts. So much respect to both these athletes. I mean, I've known Shawn for a little bit back in the day, training with him before he got big time over here. So, but yeah, great time. Thank you.
You're welcome. Gentlemen, great job. Thank you so much. You guys rocked it. Shawn, back to you.
Well, thank you, Logan. Thank you to all the athletes. And thank you for watching. Final thoughts, man. Are you gonna hit this tonight? You're gonna wait? What's the plan here?
I'm kind of debating. We got some people thrown down here locally. I may strap it up with the Buttery Bros and maybe Justin LaFranco, and maybe see if I can go 4-0 on this week.
Are the Buttery Bros competing in those outfits tonight?
I hope not, because we might get a little more than we bargained for.
We're gonna show, yeah. And look, if you want to stick around, we're done with the main event, but we're gonna have some community athletes from Diablo throwing down. I think the Buttery Bros might take on the workout as well. So hand out some candy to trick-or-treaters and watch some fitness.
Oh, yeah.
I want to thank all of you for watching. I want to thank our hosts here at Diablo CrossFit, Craig Howard, and his whole crew have been fantastic. I thank the crowd for coming out, everybody who wore a costume. That's it, man. Good luck with 20.4. For Tommy Marquez, I'm Sean Woodland. We will see you guys soon.
put hands on that bar and then just have it. I think maybe that's the way to do it.
That's what they were doing.
Am I on? Oh, I am on. Hey. Hello, everyone. I'm so uncomfortable with a microphone. All right. For those of you who don't know, Diablo has an intramural open running simultaneously with the open. We have 3 teams that are operating, and we have 3 teams represented by our members tonight. Let me bring those athletes out because they're going to do this workout too. First, representing Team Black and the Masters 60+ category, Julie Soderstrom. Representing Team Blue and teen division, age 14 to 15, Miss Kennedy Kissick. And finally, representing Team Red and Masters 40 to 44, Brad Barnhart. They all have different versions of this workout, some scaled, some RX. All right. Judges, are you ready? Judges, are you ready? Athletes, are you ready? Fans, are you ready to watch this go down? All right, let's get this started in 3, 2, 1, go.
Ladies and gentlemen, Craig told us we've got 3 different Diablo athletes from 3 different divisions. We've got 13-year-old Kennedy here representing the teenage division. In the middle, Mr. Brad Barnhart. And representing the Masters division, Miss Julie. We've got Miss Kennedy on a 20-inch box, chipping away at her first 30 repetitions. We got Brad on a 24-inch box from the RX division. But first, on to the barbell. For the first 15 reps, it's Julie. Julie looking strong on these first 15 repetitions of the clean and jerk.
All right, 3 more, babe, 3 more. There you go, nice pace.
Julie's starting off with 35 pounds on that Rogue barbell, while Brad's starting off here with 95 pounds. Now we've got Kennedy 30 reps in on the first box jumps. We got 35 pounds on the bar as well for Miss Kennedy. And Julie, our leader, representing the Masters here at Diablo CrossFit. Julie on to her second round of the box step-ups. Julie utilizing a technique that's actually allowed for all of our divisions. The RX division as well, technically able to utilize the box step-up if they choose. Kennedy chipping away at her final 2 clean and jerks. Ladies and gentlemen of Diablo, it's Miss Julie in the lead as we approach the 4-minute mark. Julie now on to her second barbell. We got the bar loaded up to 45 pounds for Julie. And this second round of the clean and jerk, 15 repetitions. Both Kennedy and Brad chipping away at their second round of 30 box jumps. Looks like Brad's got 2 more reps here in round 2. And Julie now on the home stretch. Ladies and gents at Diablo, let's make some noise for Julie. Julie there 2 rounds down. She's done with the 15s. And on to her final set on the box. And Miss Kennedy going touch and go here on the second set of clean and jerks. Julie staying nice and steady. As well as Brad and Kennedy moving through their reps of 15 more clean and jerks here on round 2. Looks like we got 4 more reps for Brad at 135. Brad working the RX division here in the middle lane. Pirate Brad. And we've got 13-year-old Kennedy moving 55 pounds. And there goes Brad, 2 rounds in for Brad. Are you guys proud of your Diablo members here? Representing you guys, Julie under her 3rd round of clean and jerks. We've dropped the reps here in the 3rd round for Julie, but we've upped the weight. She's got 65 pounds on this barbell, working through 10 reps. As she remains in the lead of all 3 of our divisions here on the Diablo competition floor. Brad staying nice and steady. Same with Kennedy. And Julie gets set and makes another clean and jerk. Another rep good for Julie at 65 pounds. Here we go, Miss Julie. The clean and the jerk. Hey, Diablo, Julie's got one more rep here at 65 pounds. And here comes Brad onto his third barbell. We've got Brad with 185 pounds on this rogue barbell. Brad gets set, and it is a good rep at 185 for Brad. Let's count it. 2 good reps for Brad. And here comes 13-year-old Miss Kennedy. Onto her third barbell. We've got the bar now up to 75 pounds for Kennedy. Kennedy utilizing the split there to get the bar overhead. And Miss Julie over here onto her 4th round of the box. For the Masters divisions, we have these athletes using a 14-pound medicine ball for the ladies for our weighted step-ups. Again, working through 30 reps here. Brad's got 4 more reps at 185. And Kennedy fighting for that lockout overhead as she gets another good rep at 75 pounds. Brad's got 2 more reps. And we've got Miss Julie back to the barbell. Julie on the 4th barbell. 75 pounds here for Julie now. Julie now getting set. She's got the clean. And 3rd of 10 reps in for Julie. Brad's 3 rounds in of our 6th round chipper. Julie fights for that lockout. Another good rep for Julie at 75 pounds. Julie representing our scaled Masters division. And there's Miss Kennedy, our Diablo athlete representing the teenage division. Kennedy, our only athlete, advancing onto the pistols as we cross the 13-minute mark. Julie is on the home stretch now. It's her 4th barbell, loaded up to 75 pounds. Looks like Julie's got 4 more reps here at 75 pounds. We got 13-year-old Kennedy chipping away at her single leg squats. And here we go, Pirate Brad holding on to the squat. Trying to hold on to that sock to get a good rep on these single leg squats. First time this movement has been presented to us in the open. And Miss Julie chalks up. She's got 2 more reps here at 75 pounds. Brad getting a cheer from the audience and some coaching from the sidelines from Peter Pan. The crowd getting behind Julie. Our athlete representing the Masters division here from Diablo CrossFit. Julie is on her 4th barbell. We're looking for 10 total repetitions. And count that as 10 for Julie. And look at that, Miss Kennedy successfully complete with a set of 30 single leg squats. And now Kennedy's back to the barbell. Thirteen-year-old Kennedy now with that barbell loaded up to 95 pounds. Julie chipping away at her weighted step-ups, looking solid over there. And check out the clean for Miss Kennedy. She's able to get the barbell up to the shoulders, but unable to lock out. We've got 13-year-old Kennedy with 95 pounds on the barbell here for round number 5. Excuse me, round number 4 here for Kennedy. Another good clean for 13-year-old Kennedy. And just not able to lock that bar out overhead. Julie still looking strong with that 14-pound medicine ball in hand. That's another 30 reps into the box step up in for Julie. And it is the 17.5-minute mark. Brad working to get that depth and be able to stand up out of the bottom. The single leg squats showing to be quite a challenge for Pirate Brad in the middle lane. And how about Miss Julie? Julie with this 5th barbell up to 85 pounds, and Kennedy almost locking out that 95 overhead. And ladies and gentlemen of Diablo, we have 90 seconds left on the clock. I'm gonna need you guys to get behind these athletes here. Let's get one of these pistols for Brad. What do you say? There you go, Brad. Ooh. Just above that depth line for Brad. We're looking for Brad's hip crease to go below the top of his knee. Ooh, and there's the clean for Julie. And the push press for Julie at 85 pounds. The clean good for Kennedy. And again, just able to lock out that jerk. 3 athletes from 3 different divisions here from the intramural CrossFit competition at Diablo. Brad trying hard all the way through the end with 25 seconds on the clock. Another good rep for Julie from the Scaled Masters division. And athletes, you have 15 seconds. And at the buzzer just before the 20-minute mark, a good clean and jerk for Miss Kennedy. Yes, guys, how about that? Another big round of applause for your intramural team representatives, Julie, Kennedy, and Brad. Great job, guys.